Fun. Let's go.
Some say that champion duelists are to Fontaine as the safety is to a musket. Which is to say, a chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the prosecution. A way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom without a violent eruption. But there's another way of looking at it, namely, when the accused denigrate the law and question its authority, we must safeguard the dignity of the court.
Makes sense. Ah, she's going for Iron Sting. Fair enough. It matches up to what she used when we first came across her.
We will do so by force.
In that case, Mr. Mescal, please confirm whether I understand the defense's
Really?
position
His name is
correctly.
Mescal?
You vehemently oppose the law, refuse
Our
to stand
guy.
trial, and request an alternative recourse to defend the honor of your guild.
That's right. I demand a duel.
Fine. Wish granted, let's go.
Too often, it is only when the safety is disengaged and the champion duelist takes aim that they finally realize whose hand controls the gun.
The request for a duel is approved. This decision is irreversible.
Ah! So, her idea of it is it's of course a safety measure to ensure people follow the law, which is basically why crime and punishment is a thing. The only way society works is if there are rules in place, and if there are rules in place, they need to lean towards what the majority will do. And there needs to be an appropriate punishment to dissuade others from not following the rules of the majority. So it's like with speeding. You see people do it all the time, but the punishment for it is a minor slap on the wrist compared to if you did something like murder. There are people who like to commit murder, who probably want to commit murder, who haven't purely because laws exist in place to make it difficult for them and procedures exist to catch those people out. If there wasn't any law, then we'd have people, there'd be mayhem in the streets. We probably wouldn't be able to function as a society at all. Because you'd have people... It's like with traffic laws, this is actually a really good way to probably explain it. If everybody sped in a car, then no one would survive the road. One or two people doing it is more manageable, and we know the mayhem just one or two people speeding can cause. Imagine if everyone could, because if there was no traffic law restrictions, no speed-related restrictions, then wouldn't you optimally go as quickly as you possibly could to reach your destination as fast as possible? Yes, but what would happen as a result of that? We see one person speeding can cause multiple people to die. So if everyone was doing it, the roads would be in chaos, there'd likely be structural damage because the cars would veer off the road because you're less likely to be able to control them the higher the speed they're going. It would be a nightmare. But that is the realistic part. If people could optimally choose to reach their destinations at higher speed, they would. And that applies to everything there is a rule for. It is not for the sake of absolute limiting people. Instead, it's to try and keep things orderly so things function as intended. So basically, she's explaining that the duelists exist to ensure people follow the law, and those who do not basically have to face a punishment regardless. If you're not absolutely sure and willing to do it, well, here is this countermeasure. Something that will probably kill you and set the example for everyone else because it makes a precedent of those occasions. Like, we've seen it be a flaw in some cases, like with Navia's dad. He was innocent. But did he survive the duel? No, but he didn't aim to. But ultimately, did the system work in his favour? No. There are always going to be outliers where the system isn't going to work, but for the majority, the system will. I appreciate this woman. I'm looking forward to potentially seeing a more relaxed side of her. Am I going to pull for a no, because I'd rather save in advance for Natlan. They have now teased Natlan, and eventually we'll get a Pyro Archon. I want to make sure they come home. But do I appreciate this woman? Yes, I do. I think Clorinde is pretty great, and the more we see of different elements of a character, the more people are gonna love her. And she was a long time coming. I am stunned it took this long still. But hey, best of luck to those of you pulling, and take care of yourselves.